I used to think love was supposed to be messy, unpredictable, even a little chaotic. That's what drew me to her in the first place. Jasmine. We first met at a Halloween party in our early 20s. She was dressed as a sultry vampire. I was some half-baked zombie thing. We clicked almost immediately. She had this magnetic confidence, a fire in her eyes that made everything else around her dim in comparison. Her laugh? Infectious. Her wit? Sharp. She'd roast me one second and compliment my smile the next. I was hooked. But like most young romances, it fizzled out. Life happened. She got into a serious relationship, eventually married. I moved away for work. We lost contact. For a while. It wasn't until a few years later, after a random Facebook friend request, that we reconnected. By then, she was divorced, or, well, her marriage was disintegrating. Her ex-husband was in the Navy, stationed in Cali, and she had just moved back to our state with her son, Elijah. From what she told me, the guy went cold on her once she left, barely responded to messages, zero effort to keep in touch with his son, just disappeared. We started talking again. At first it was harmless, catching up. Then memories started resurfacing, then flirtation, then the feelings. Before I knew it, we were dating again, on and off at first, mostly because her divorce dragged on longer than it should have. But eventually, we settled down. We got married after 3 years of dating, moved into a nice apartment in the city, and had 2 daughters together, Ari and Mila. I worked full-time as a logistics coordinator for a mid-sized shipping company. Nothing fancy, but it paid better than most jobs in 2025. I was making close to $90,000 a year with a promotion around the corner that would have pushed me into 6 figures. We weren't rich, but we were doing okay. Jasmine stayed home with the kids. That was our dynamic. Her at home, me at work. And I didn't mind it at all. I wanted her to have peace. I wanted her to rest, to feel like she could breathe and not worry about finances or daycare or juggling shifts. I came from a background where the men worked and made sure the family was good. That's what I wanted to be for her. Her peace. At first, things were good. Real good. We had this playful energy between us. We were both into anime and horror movies. We'd take trips to haunted towns, old cemeteries, and ghost tours just for the thrill of it. We'd binge-watch whole seasons of Jujutsu Kaisen or The Haunting of Hill House while cuddling under a blanket. It was goofy and sweet and full of laughter. But slowly that warmth started to fade. It started with little things. Her tone when she was annoyed. The way she'd dismiss serious conversations with, okay, or can we not right now? Anytime something didn't go her way, she shut down, emotionally unavailable and cold. She wanted communication, but only when she felt like having it. Conflict resolution? Forget about it. She'd rather let things simmer in silence than actually deal with them. The parties came back too. She started going out more. At first, I didn't mind. She had her mom friends, and she needed time away from the house. But then it turned into every weekend. Sometimes Thursdays too. She said she needed to feel alive again, that motherhood was draining her. I tried to understand. I really did. I used to club too back in my early 20s, but I had grown out of it. Still, I gave her space, trusted her, but I started noticing things that didn't sit right with me. New lingerie that wasn't for me. Secretive giggles while texting. That second phone that magically stayed hidden unless she was out. The long Target runs that took 2 hours and came with no bags. Club photos where she was suspiciously cropped out, or just not in them at all. The arguments started picking up again. But she always flipped it on me, saying I was too paranoid, too jealous, that I didn't trust her. Classic Darvo. She'd paint herself as the victim, telling me how isolated she felt and how I didn't make her feel beautiful anymore. But I knew that wasn't the issue. She needed more attention, more validation, not just from me, from men, from strangers, from the internet. Then one night I came across a DM notification that she forgot to close out of on her laptop. It was from some guy named Rico, then another from a woman, then a couple more from accounts I didn't recognize. My heart sank. But I didn't blow up. Instead, I played it cool, closed the laptop, acted normal. That's when I started collecting everything. The day I decided to investigate my own wife, something inside me shifted. I didn't feel like a husband anymore. I felt like a detective in my own home. And the worst part? I had to play dumb, smile, pretend like I wasn't falling apart inside every time she kissed me goodbye or gave me those lazy excuses for why she couldn't spend time with me. It started with the second phone. She had it hidden in a box of sanitary pads in the back of our bathroom cabinet. I found it by accident, or maybe it was divine intervention. It was locked, but I noticed it charging in odd places around the house when I wasn't supposed to be home. One day when she was in the shower, I managed to glance at a few incoming texts lighting up the screen. One from someone saved as baby smiley face, another from Jay, another just a heart emoji. That's when I ordered the voice-activated recording devices. I hid one in the living room lamp, another in our bedroom, and one inside her car, under the back seat. Every time she came back from girls' night or shopping, I'd recover the data. It was like swallowing poison and smiling through it. There were whispers, kisses. At least one time she gave someone head in our car. I couldn't see them, but I knew it wasn't me. I saved it all, labeled, time-stamped, everything. Then came Rico. He was some random guy she met on Instagram, a travel influencer who barely traveled. I found his page. Typical thirst trap dude with half his pictures shirtless. They'd met up at a hookah lounge once, and I caught the audio from the car ride after. The conversation made it clear. He wasn't her first, just the most recent. Then there was her, Jasmine's old friend from her clubbing days, Vanessa. I always got bad vibes from her. Too touchy, too flirty, too close. Turns out I was right. Jasmine and Vanessa had hooked up multiple times, sometimes together with guys, sometimes just them. The final straw, though, was the ex-husband, Jeremiah, the man who dropped his own son like a bad habit when Jasmine moved out of California, the man who remarried and moved on, apparently not fully. I found a string of messages on her second phone that made it crystal clear they'd rekindled their friendship. And then came the worst audio file of them all, a recording of her giggling, moaning his name in the backseat of his car, parked outside a motel, not even 2 miles from our house. That was the day something in me snapped. But I didn't confront her. Not yet. Instead, I scheduled a paternity test, secretly, for both our daughters. Ari, our youngest, had my eyes. Mila, the middle child. I wasn't so sure. I needed to know. It would hurt either way. But I couldn't let that question linger in my soul forever. Results came in a week later. Ari was mine. Mila wasn't. I sat in the car with the envelope in my hand and just stared. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I felt nothing. Not anger, not pain. Just a cold, numbing silence that spread through my chest like winter frost. The courtroom was cold. Not just the temperature, but the energy. Jasmine sat across from me with her lawyer, makeup heavy to hide the puffiness under her eyes. She wore a black blazer like this was a job interview and not the end of her own damn family. I came dressed the same way I showed up to everything else in my life, with receipts. My lawyer made it clear, full custody of Ari, shared custody of Mila based on DNA and existing emotional bonds, no spousal support, no division of property in her favor due to proven infidelity, and retroactive repayment of child support for Mila's expenses, going back 5 years. Jasmine's lawyer tried to push back, said I was being vindictive, that Mila sees him as her father regardless of blood. My response was calm. I raised a child I thought was mine. I loved her with everything I had, and I still do. But I was lied to, manipulated. I have no issue being in Mila's life, but I won't be legally or financially responsible for lies. That's justice, not revenge. The judge saw the evidence, every voice note, every GPS ping, every call log, the second phone, the affair with her ex, the affair with her female friend, the random Instagram flings, the sheer volume of disrespect. He ruled in my favor. Jasmine didn't just lose me, she lost everything she lied to keep. No alimony, no house, no primary custody. And worse, for her reputation was obliterated. Our mutual friends slowly cut her off. Her own family looked at her with quiet disgust. Even her clubbing crew started to ghost her once the drama hit the group chats. Jeremiah, his wife, filed for divorce a month later. I made sure she had the recordings too. Vanessa, dumped by her girlfriend. Last I checked, she was still posting passive-aggressive breakup TikToks and OnlyFans promos that didn't seem to be doing too well. And Jasmine? She tried to move in with a cousin, but got kicked out after she started seeing one of their neighbors. She ended up living in a small apartment on the edge of town, barely affording rent. She got a job at a call center, started posting sad Facebook statuses about men ain't loyal, and how she just wants peace. She started messaging me again 2 months after the divorce was finalized. At first, it was small stuff, asking about the kids, asking how I was doing. Then came the I miss you. Then came the late-night calls. One day, she dropped off Ari and tried to hug me a little longer than necessary. "I was so stupid," she whispered. I looked her in the eye and just said, "Yeah, you were." And I closed the door behind her. I didn't yell. I didn't go off. I didn't argue. I didn't have to. Watching her unravel was all the closure I ever needed. But the truth is, that closure didn't fill the void. It just gave me the space to heal in peace. For the first time in years, I sat alone in silence, without tension. I cooked with music on. I took long walks with Ari. I read bedtime stories to both girls. I taught my stepson Jaden how to fix things around the house. I stopped overextending myself for people who wouldn't do the same for me. I even started working out again. Lost some weight. Grew out the beard. Got a new wardrobe. People noticed. But I wasn't doing it for them. I was doing it for me. That's when I met Lena. She worked at a bookstore downtown. I bumped into her while picking up something for Ari's school project. She asked if I needed help finding anything. I told her no, but we ended up talking for over an hour. She was soft-spoken, but smart. Sarcastic. Funny. A bit of a horror buff herself. She loved old slasher flicks and had a matching Freddy Krueger tattoo on her forearm. She wasn't flashy. She wasn't loud. She was just present. We started hanging out casually. Nothing serious. Just two people who liked talking, laughing, and grabbing coffee after the world had kicked their asses a few times too many. And for the first time in a long time, love didn't feel like a battlefield. It felt like a blanket. Warm, simple, peaceful. I don't hate Jasmine, not anymore. I don't think about her with anger or even pity. I think about her like I would a storm that passed through and left damage, but also cleared space for something new to grow. I still see Mila often. She's not mine by blood, but she is mine in a lot of other ways. I won't abandon her the way her biological dad did. Jaden is slowly opening up again, too. He's been through a lot for a kid his age. I make sure he knows he's not just her son, he's family. My life isn't perfect, but it's peaceful. And that, to me, is worth more than anything I lost. They say revenge is a dish best served cold. But me, I served mine with a full-course meal, peace, purpose, and a woman who loves me without all the chaos.